Hey, my name is Joss, and this is Van Life. Live. Hello, everybody. Are you considering van life? Let me tell you, it's pretty awesome. And that's my infomercial. Honestly, I think it was something that I've always been curious and wanting to do, and it's something I talked about, and it just got to the point where years have actually gone by, and seeing friends who kind of built up their builds. I have a friend who has a step van who turned it into this amazing, like, cabin, and it just looks, you would, on the outside you would not think about it, and inside it's like, it looks so roomy, and it was very mystical, and I was very intrigued. And he's a really good friend of mine who's also like a cinematographer. We worked on a couple music videos together as well, but what I loved from his build, I wanted to take that. I just saw the freedom that he had to easily travel here or park his van somewhere and then go. He just literally went to Africa because he was filming a movie, and then came back and then traveled, always going to hot springs. And those are things that I love to do as far as hiking and camping and kind of like backpacking and that sort, and just kind of disconnecting or like reconnecting with nature, or just getting grounded. This year I kind of spent a lot of time doing that, and then it finally came to me that like I was like, wow, I can build this. And people kept saying that. They're like, you got a lot of room in there, man. You just start with the platform, start with the bed. And I met this other cool guy who has a Japanese fire truck converted into RV and built it. And so after meeting people other people from the next and seeing their builds, it really inspired me to kind of like want to do my take. And I think what's unique about doing it from a car, it was like, okay, this is, what do I have? And what can I do? And so it just kind of started from there. I went through so many emotions, like, am I doing this? You know, I'm cool with sleeping in my car. You know, I went from living in a very beautiful home in the Hollywood Hills, literally, that was like 3 levels, lots of space, 2 patios, plants, the works, interior design. It was just beautiful. The whole time that I was living there, even though it was beautiful, I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like working so much just to pay for something I'm barely in just was like really burning like our pockets and my pockets during that time. And I wasn't spending too much time there. There was other things I was out, was either working just to keep like working like 3-4 jobs or different gigs just to live in this one place. And I really wanted to condense down, be practical. What are my bare necessities? What do I really need? What's luxury versus necessity? I think that was it. And break it down, and to find a way to be able to save money and travel more. I think I wanted to explore more rather than stay confined in one particular spot. And at the end of the night, you just kind of like want to just turn in and sleep. So at the beginning of this year, I actually got to live and be a part of this like art community. And at the time, it was interesting because it was something new, it was something I inspected. I actually rented a bunk out of this place, you wouldn't believe this place. It was really cool. It was actually built and designed to be part of a movie, and everywhere I looked was just a set. So I kind of really fell in love with the place. And to me, it just breathed possibility. It was basically mini sets, and so I got to see like, you know, a condensed down barn. And from working in the industry and just seeing how, you know, things can be built either temporary or for looks and designs, and I just kind of put those elements together, and then give it a go. After I went on this car camping trip with a friend who took me skiing, who literally was like, I literally got back from camping from Hot Springs. He's like, hey, come with me, I'm gonna go skiing. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, just get in your car, just have a sleeping bag, don't worry about it. And I was like, cool. And then from there, after sleeping in my car during that week and exploring and just like waking up to beautiful sunrises and then sunsets and just going from one place to the next, like without having set up a tent was amazing. And so that kind of sparked the idea. And then it kind of, I had an opportunity to kind of like stay at the ranch. I was still part of the community. They basically just acquired this ranch that they're turning into the art farm. And to me, that was like, oh my God, awesome. They were actually people who have been living van life or that particular life for a very long time, and they actually renovate and fix RVs. And so being able to be in that particular atmosphere and open space was a perfect environment to be able to build and create, because at that particular ranch or the art farm, it's basically going to be an artist haven or a Disneyland. So just seeing different projects that are being made helped me kind of, I guess, like learn the skill trade and the confidence to be able to do it, which was cool. So I had Tony kind of help me, Sai, who also has like a van he's fixed up, and they kind of gave me their pointers, their advice. They helped me and showed me literally, I've never really used power tools like to build anything. I mean, I built like an Apple box back in film school, and that was the extent of that, and a dolly rig, but it was only for that particular time and not in a way of like building smaller confined spaces. And I think what was important, like if you're deciding that you want to do this, is that if you really have a community or support or other people that you can vibe with, connect with, like go find your tribe. I watched tons of like YouTube videos in the beginning. I did tons of research. Like I'm talking hours, months, like literally before I even did a simple thing. And sometimes it's just like when I first took out my back seats, because I kept talking about it, I was like, I'm gonna do it today. Finally got the ratchet and just like took it out, and it felt very empowering. And then I just had all this space. And then all it took was just like breaking it down and taking all this off was very therapeutic, because you know, you got to figure out where this thing is, or I became less attached to things because I had to condense down as far as like what I need. It's very minimalistic lifestyle. I mean, I can also relate this to kind of how I grew up. Like as a kid, I was always on the go. I was always moving. I never really lived in one space or the other. So this is kind of reflecting. This is kind of like it was my normal, but in a way that worked for me. And honestly, this is pretty roomy. Like this is kind of like literally when I first took the seats out and I put a mattress in here and I just kind of slept in the car just to feel it, you know, and see, oh my God, am I really gonna do this? It was literally one of the best sleeps that I've had. I think it was a very humbling like feeling in sort of way, just kind of like at the end of the night, like I always say to people before I put my head down, like, you know, I kind of reflect like, what did you do today? And I don't know how to say this. During this build, it just kind of, it brought out different things that I didn't think I could do. When you can kind of like hold yourself up and hold you, and that's what I'm saying is like sleeping here, sometimes it's all you need to know that you got you. And so I think for building this out, it was to kind of see other ways that I can be able to use my this like creative energy that I have into creating a space that was unique for me. So literally has everything I need as far as like space wise, super roomy, put blankets in here, I'm fine. I wanted to add lights for entertainment to feel just a little bit different. It was important to me to have privacy, but sometimes like I'm only here literally to rest, and then I'm usually out in the world about creating or either doing a sewing project or building something or taking photos. So yeah, it's pretty much why I decided to choose this particular lifestyle. I love the freedom. I feel like I'm more authentic with people, people who I engage with in this community, as far as like the art community that I'm part of, but also this like van community is like people really want to help, or we can understand and relate to where everybody's at, wherever timing that is. And it's crazy. I got to visit a couple of my friends. It's like, what do you need? Oh, I have this. I'm not using this, and you switch. It kind of becomes like a bartering and trading situation. I love like the family meals. I love like my friend Laffrey, we would meet up every time he would come back, and we would just go to the park and have a picnic. To me, it's such a great time. No longer really, you know, going to like big fancy restaurants. I mean, there's nice. I love like great tasting food and the ambiance is great. But I feel like the same quality of time that's spent with other people, there's just something more intimate when you get to create that space. So, you know, and it's cool to have, like, I think the summertime when I went camping, sorry, there was like a spider. That's all I did. I love hosting, I love cooking, I love having tea, I love doing things that are outside of the ordinary. So it was great to kind of put those elements and see what was possible, like, with it. I mean, yeah, of course there's things that I miss. I think, like, it's nice to have, like, a home base. You know, sometimes when you're always on the go, like, it can get tiresome, you know, but I realized that, like, home is wherever that is for you. I guess for someone who really never really had, like, a home base, like, I never knew what that meant, except for, like, reconnecting with people. I mean, I do miss, like, having a bathroom, like, that's for sure. You know, and, like, showers are one thing. Like, I think that's, like, another common thing, but I feel like I'm always traveling a bit where I have access to and to things that didn't really seem like a problem because I was always traveling. So I don't know, you kind of find you can go to gyms, friends' houses, I stay at this ranch, or places I worked, even this like this church that, like, I pass through. It's another safe place that you can go into, like, parking lots, what I've learned. So it wasn't really an issue. I think you just kind of, like, I think it's just different now just because of what we have regulated as far as before 2020. But other than that, you kind of, like, find ways. And I go camping, I don't know, like, I like taking natural showers out there. But I think that's nice, like a stove. But I mean, everything's portable here. I spent majority of this year camping, so it wasn't, like, a thing. And I don't know, I guess I love having a thing of entertaining, so, like, I'll cook at other people's homes. So that's, like, a thing that kind of, I don't know, give an excuse to be outside instead of, like, having a home to entertain. Like, my living room is literally the world, or a park, or let's go camping here or a hike here. Just bringing whatever that is. I think that's what I kind of miss. I mean, I guess here's not enough room where I can entertain people to sit down. But at that point, like I said, I like hanging outside for the most part, and here is kind of like where I sleep. It's no different to like those little cubbies that are like in Japan, where you kind of like rent out or like a little cube to sleep in. Except, like, I have a lot of stuff. I think I'm pretty sure this would be more easier, but I think with van life, it's just, you kind of built to whatever. It's very customizable, which is nice. It's always ever changing. Like, I want to redo everything. I think after doing this, like, I want a bigger space. I do want to get an RV now. I think I love seeing different things being built, expanded. I really wanted a mobile, I guess the mobile lifestyle really appealed to me. Like, I can just pick up and go and, you know, pick up my camera or my laptop, you know, hit up a coffee shop or, you know, bounce from a hotspot, and you're good to go, literally. The downside is for van life. No, that's, I think the downside, I mean, there's a lot, like, you know, you're thinking of like where you're gonna park for the night if you're city dwelling. So I learned the terms, like, or whatever, still new to me. Like, you can dwell in the city, which there's a lot. It's just kind of crazy now that I've been here, it's like I can almost, like, reading the Matrix, I can see cars and I know different things that, like, I know that there's somebody living here. I can see the vent, like, there's shades, there's different places where people park. Like, that's a thing. But I think if you're in the city, it's just like trying to find a safe place to park. But other than that, like, no one really bugs you as long as you're good to go. You can always go to like a Walmart or a Home Depot or a Lowe's. I think those are like different spots. I personally like don't want to, but if I had to, I guess, you know, I heard that truck stops are actually pretty decent too. Like, especially because I just went to Colorado, so that's like, those are nice. But off the road, like, go off the road to the side and pick a spot. I think when you're traveling, that's an issue. Showers are one thing, but like, truckers do the same thing. Like, they're in their cars and driving across the US. So that's another place. Or you get gym memberships. Downside, what else? Like maintenance, it's always like organization. Oh my God. Like, you gotta be on top of your shit. like having compartments. And I think for me it's changing because I'm constantly shooting, so I need access to certain things, and I don't want to like take time to like Tetris like prepared me to like puzzle things together, but now it's like you gotta learn a new routine. I think that's what I kind of learned with this flow is like, what do you need on the everyday basis? What are you gonna need only once a week or once a month? I have too many clothes. I just like random things.